Good afternoon, everyone. This is Anthony, Wall Street Trader. It's 12:11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's Hump Day, Wednesday, May 26, 2021. Let's go straight into the disclaimer. I'm not a financial advisor. This is intended for educational purposes only. Don't risk what you can't afford to lose as a common sense principle. The intraday updates on Twitter, there's a link in the description below the video if you want to know what I'm doing in terms of my thoughts about my next entry point or exit point, plus when I actually do those transactions, plus any major market moves that you need to know about that I think you should know about, you'd be able to get those there as well. You can click the subscribe button. I do two other videos. One is for the news cipher and the other one is for the graph. This one, however, is for iExec or RLC. Let's move forward. Okay. Allocations. I'm 80% in cash for the amount of money that I want to spend on RLC. The other 20% is sitting in RLC. Why? Because I found the entry point that I liked. And I'm starting to find another one, but I haven't put it here officially yet until I've actually done a little more analysis, slight more, just a slightly more thorough investigation on my part. Stay tuned on Twitter if you want to see what that will look like. Now, let's move forward. As we all know, this is the famous equation I apply to every cryptocurrency. The RLC is equal to Bitcoin's price, the price which is like 38.39 right now, multiplied by RLC's strength relative to Bitcoin, or the RLC BTC pair. A lot of people don't really follow this, right? We all look at this, we kind of know what's going here, and we kind of we kind of zone out. And honestly, most people only look at this and trade off of that, and trade off of patterns only on that in isolation. Well, this is not the way to do it. This is my opinion. I would never do it that way. What I figure is this RLC US dollar is actually an output. Why? Because Bitcoin is truly the benchmark. I don't care what you've heard. Ethereum could be one day, but it's not. Today, I'm talking about right now, right here, and what's been going on in the moment. I trade on what's happening right now. Bitcoin is the benchmark, bar none. Now, on the other hand, you also have this other item as an input, which is the RLC strength to Bitcoin. This to me is the sentiment and or fear of where the markets are heading in the retail market, more so than Bitcoin. Why? Because the whole altcoin market is driven completely by retail. There's hardly any institutions buying up these smaller cryptos. So you should understand that. So these two are kind of drive each other in some ways. If the Bitcoin goes up or stays stable for a while, you'll see the strength and the altcoin market eventually start rallying because they have confidence in the crypto market, because everyone's eyes are always on Bitcoin. So let's move into the markets as we see it right now. Whoops. Okay, there we go. So this is the RLC. This is on the left side of the equal sign. So this is the RLC USD pair. What I would pay in dollars for an RLC token, which we're right now around my original entry point. No problem. Still respecting this once resistance, now support line. There's nothing fancy here to look at or observe. Even when I drill in, I'm not seeing much. So this is kind of a boring chart. Let's go into the drivers. Okay, so we've got a couple of things going on here. We may or may not have a wedge, which could be slightly bearish and could pull back. I'd expect if it pulls back, we'd be in the 36 range. I don't personally think that will happen. I think over the next, look, we've already bounced up into this range recently, up into the high 40s. And as I've mentioned, I expect that we will be up in this range here over the next couple of days. Well, we already went into the range, so technically we're there. Now we're trading around, for Bitcoin, we're around 39,260. So, generally speaking, I'm still bullish. This seems like a little bit bearish, so we just have to see this play out here. It's kind of formed at the, over the last few hours, and we saw this dip through this line, which indicates maybe a little bearishness short term. But let's move forward. Again, fully bullish on Bitcoin. RLC Bitcoin, respecting this pattern here. This is a trend line here. It is keeping consistent. We might see some action, some real action over the next few days as we get closer to this point, which is, the resistance line coming down, and then you've got this support line coming up. Usually at the tail end of it here, something may happen. So we have to keep our eye on this. Remember, if Bitcoin stays the same right now and RLC is trading at 560 and this thing goes double, let's just say it goes up to 28 or 30. If this RLC Bitcoin pair went up there, our investment would go up double. Just keep that in mind. It's a big deal. This is why I look at this more intently than RLC USD, because these two things propel Bitcoin and RLC BTC, propel the RLC US dollar pair. Anyway, that's all I've got right now. Stay on Twitter if you want to receive any subsequent updates on the back of this video and in between now and tomorrow. And if you want later on, I've got a grab video coming out and obviously the new Cypher Evening Edition. We'll all catch up soon. Take care. Bye.